we have the Hifiman 400i, generally retails around $450 throughout the year, and then the Hifiman 400S generally retails around $300 throughout the year. In a great many ways, they are nigh identical, but there are some very fundamental differences, pricing notwithstanding. The 400S here has a much warmer sound signature. Now, perhaps not quite as discernible to a casual listener, but usually at these price ranges, they're not going to be a casual listener. But in reference to each other, this does actually have a warmer sound signature versus the 400i's much cooler analytical sound. The example I like to use is on a set of polychoral works where there's a peak of multiple voices, sopranos, altos, tenors, bass, as well as brass timbres. With the 400i, all those various elements are distinct. They're spatially separated. I can pinpoint exactly the positioning of each element without any issue. Whereas with the 400S, the brass timbres tend to meld in with the bass and baritone singers, as well as the vocal sibilance, natural sibilance as the intake of breath and what have you, is a bit more demure on the 400S. Now, I personally, subjectively, actually prefer the 400S for general music listening. I tend to gravitate towards warmth. Plus, I do also suffer from tinnitus attacks. And in my opinion, the 400S out of my entire headphone collection has been the best choice for tinnitus. Just, preventing tinnitus attacks, as well as a nice overall spacious, airy sound to mask the ringing in the ears. The 400i is a bit more prone to causing ear fatigue. If you're very susceptible to upper, mids, and highs being predominant and too crisp, then the 400i may not be your best choice. However, it does have a much bolder mid-range clarity because of that cooler analytical sound, and I have found that these make an outstanding TV headphones. I have them running through a topping NX3 amp from my TV, and the clarity and the spatial imaging has really made it easy to hear dialogue even over very poorly mixed thematic music. So that's my own personal take as preferred roles, but all in all, the main primary difference, if you're just considering the two Hifiman planar magnetic models here, the 400i and the 400S, the primary difference is a cooler analytical sound and a warmer veil. So really kind of just boils down to what do you prefer. And we're also only talking in relative degrees of each other. They both have a very spacious, airy, light soundscape. They both have large, over-the-ear fits. I'm talking 110 millimeter diameter on the outside, but very comfy. You can wear either or literally for hours, even as an eyeglass wearer. They both are made from the same construction material, the same construction principles. There's no difference. The only difference is with the 400i, you can, by default, the stock pads are what's known as the focus pads. You notice it has a leatherette exterior with a leather interior that's perforated, and then a velour ring. That's the stock ear pad. They're called focus pads. With the 400S, they actually come with stock as an all velour pad. This is the stock one. It's all velour inside and out. So as a result, with the stock, the soundstage is actually even more airy, more diffuse, more spread out than you would get with the focus pads. The focus pads actually give you a far more linear sound. Now, I did actually spend the extra $40 for a separate set of focus pads, and with that extra $40 on the 400S, overall they both are pretty much equal in terms of that linear but articulate spectrum. Once again, though, the only difference being is that relative warmness versus cool analytical sound. They both come with a single 3.5 millimeter L jack balance cable. That's to a split left and right, 2.5 millimeter. You only get one with each. You get a gray and black one with the 400S. Kind of matches sort of the decor, whereas it's a solid black one, but it's still exactly the same cord with the 400i. Also, packaging wise, the 400S just comes with a basic box, foam insert, no carrying case. The 400i comes with a rather nice hard box here. I'm going to pull it out so you can see. This is the box for the 400i, so rather nice. It's not definitely a carry box, but it makes a pretty sweet storage box. Alright, they both are relatively easy to drive. The impedance on the 400i is 35 ohms, whereas the impedance on the 400S is 25 ohms. Now, at 25 ohms, you should be able to power it pretty much directly off any headphone jack that gives you 32 ohm impedance outputs. Now, if you're trying to use something like a smartphone or an economical MP3 player that really is only designed to work with 16 ohm earbuds, then yeah, you're going to probably need either an amplifier, or in my case, on my Samsung S6, I have a software DAC, a separate software DAC that has its own preamp. It uses that to engage, even on my Samsung S6, I think it does fully engage the S's without any additional support. But at 35 ohms, the I's, yeah, I definitely need that preamp boost on my Samsung S6. But primarily, I do use a super mini personal music player that has a separate balanced output, 4.2 volt peak to peak, and it engages both of these fully. Just need a little bit more volume push over the S's to really get to the same sound level. But there you have it. You guys have yourself a great one.